give me 10 seconds to get chat working on my phone. Otherwise, I won't see what everyone says. Just taking a moment to come through. It's taking more than a moment, actually. Normally a bit quicker than that. I'll leave that there for a second. Hopefully I'll catch up in a minute. Okay, so during the week I managed to get to a good place with our deployments. So at the end of the last stream I was getting some really good advice on compressing the WebAssembly file. So if I refresh this, aside from that weird CSS glitch, there we go. We should see, if I hard refresh it, we should see that yeah, our WebAssembly file is now just 300k, 350k transferred, as opposed to about 1.3, 1.4, 1.3 meg I think before. So there's a couple of things going on there, and a heck of a lot of builds that contributed to that. So I think I ended up doing like 10 pull requests to try and solve this. You probably just see a string of fix deploy, fix deploy, fix deploy. Yep. This one I think finally did it. Yeah, so we've got this line in here, gzip minus 9ing the WASM file that we get after the build, and then when we upload it to S3, I'm adding content encoding gzip, so it gets served as a compressed file. And I think a little further up, yeah, we're running this WASM optimize tool as well, so that gives us not just a size improvement but a speed improvement, which is nice. Gone for the maximum optimization there. And yeah, combination of those two, I think the optimization takes 20% off the size, and the compression basically halves it or less. It's pretty good. So that's where we are with that. So I can ignore that for now. And what was this? Oh yeah, this was one of the pages I had open for that. We don't need to worry about that anymore. And I'm going to try and concentrate on actually writing some Rust this stream. See where we are. Okay, we're on a branch, we're on an old branch. I wonder what branches we've got locally. A couple of those. So we could, for a start, let's go back to master. Let's pull a fresh copy of that. Okay, cool. And then I think it was -D to delete. Can't remember off the top of my head, which is terrible. But we can probably get rid of this. Yeah, branch, that can go. Is there another branch just sat there? Fix previous link on Prime's list page. Yeah, we solved that about a week ago now. So we can get rid of that too. Get branch. There we go. Cool. All right. So hopefully we are now all up to date. Let's see if this app has caught up with chat. 1 second. Go to dashboard. Yeah. Go on. Dashboard, please. Kind of confused. Yep, fine. It's just about caught up, I think. There we go. So, yeah, that's the optimized thing, which is pretty neat. The gzip thing, which is pretty neat. We've got, as part of that optimization, had to download a binary rather than compile yet another thing during the build and the deploy. I thought it'd be neat to just have some slightly reusable code that pulls the latest version of that binary down from these kind folk that have built this optimization tool. Grabs the latest version of it, and then extracts just the binary for optimizing those WASM files. So going back to GitHub now, we can have a quick look, see what remaining issues we've got. I'm also going to try something else today as well. Instead of having a different pull request and maybe multiple pull requests on the go, instead of that, I plan to just have a single pull request for this entire session, and we'll then spend a lot less time waiting for things to build. So we've got these. They're not technically bugs, so I'm going to leave them. Oh, we've smashed this. This is done. Yeah, this is now complete. Change set is spread across the following PRs. Yeah, I did a terrible job with this. Closed. So I think it was probably PR 41 down to 34. So 34 to 41. Great. That's a good point. Does it actually? Does it actually let me do that? Compiling binary. Yeah. Cool. Okay. 35, 36, 37, 30. How did I manage to mistype that? All I'm doing is counting. Nope. 39, 40, and 41. Close and comment. Good stuff. Okay. Well, that's one issue done, right? Didn't even need to do anything, and that's done. That's a bug. Let's have a look at this one. Ditch pull request for the moment. So they reported a bug, saying they can't debug it easily, and they've got a link for us. This was Flansel actually. They were really useful. They were really helpful on 4 or 5 streams back. They even went to the trouble of testing a bunch of stuff. So thanks again for that. And for some reason I said I wasn't able to replicate it, and they very patiently said click the link. Oh, I see, and that just calls up the news page. So if I go back to console, what do we got going on here? Panic to index out of bounds. The length is 43, but the index is 43. Okay, so it's tried to grab one more than the index can actually deal with, than the array can actually deal with. So we should try and get this going locally. So if I run our local build, let's see what we end up with. Hopefully this will refresh. Great, so that's refreshed. So let's get rid of the live site so it doesn't confuse us. Grab this nice short number. And away we go. Okay, that definitely broke. Do we get better debug now? Yeah, we get slightly better debug, I think. So uncaught, panicking, beginning to unwind, panicking some more, numerics to text, convert tree. Oh, I see. So this is one of our functions in the numerics to text module, probably in the cruncher file. And it's probably just meaning that this number is so large. So if I close, wow, there's loads of stuff here. Let's close all of this pretty much. Don't need that, don't need that. Nope. Don't worry about the readme. Close these. So this is the cruncher page. I'm pretty sure if I do a search for tree, or try. Yes, there's going to be a function for this. Convert try. So the length is 43, but the index is 43. That's probably meaning there's a, well, there should be an array here, right? Yeah, it's probably this one. 346. About 40 odd things there, so maybe it's not that. But I would have thought this triplets function has, or this triplets thing has something to do with convert tree. And I think that's the only array it sends. What's this? That's a vector. That's a vector. Okay, they're all vectors apart from these two, which are numbers. So we go down to convert tree, which takes us to here. And what do we got going on here? Units, tens, triplets. Do we have a line number? Numerics to text, convert tree. 142 maybe? That doesn't seem to correspond with a line here. I'll see what 142 is, but I don't think this is going to be what we want. I mean, that's converting to Chinese, so that's nothing to do with it. What else? What else can we find here? These both mention 142. This is probably, I'll try and debug this. Oh wow, it just opened. It really doesn't want to debug it, probably because it's the WASM file. And I'm guessing if I click this, it's going to be super unhelpful as well. Yeah, kind of bugs out. It's like the network tab, the console debugger is maybe. Huh. Okay, so that's actually referencing a Rust file. And that's referencing a WASM file. Tree. Okay, I think we could probably solve this by first of all adding some kind of sane size limit to this function. So convert tree, we pull that from somewhere here. Oh, we call it from within convert tree. Great. We've got just got this whole convert thing, right? So it's called 16 times. Wow. There's a test here. Hey, that's a good point. Maybe we could put this number in as a unit test. Now we're talking. Then we can actually get some debug out of this thing that's useful. Text converts. So let's add to this unit test. So we're asserting that these two things are equal. Let me just paste this in first of all. It's a ridiculous number. And we're asserting that when we convert, I guess we don't even know what it's going to convert to, right? Or which one is erroring. Oh, okay. This is maybe, yeah, of course, this is just turning it into an English sounding, I mean, no one's ever going to read that, but it's an English sounding sentence. So let's convert this to an owned string rather than a borrowed one. And I don't know what the output's going to be, so I'm just going to say, I don't know. I do not know. No idea. And then it's complaining. What's wrong with my syntax? No rules expected the token. Okay, so we open a bracket, we open another bracket. Oh, we didn't close a bracket. Boom. And let's run our unit test. So I think it's just a case of, oh, I accidentally searched. I think that's just a case of running cargo test. Bit of compiling. A lot of compiling. Something failed, of course, because we just added to the test. And we've got a failure, of course. It panicked, index out of bounds. Great. When it's doing a slice on a module. Well, that's not really giving us much info, is it? Let's search for setting the backtrace variable, then I don't have to type it because I'm slightly lazy. Escape, Control C, cargo test. So set our backtrace equals 1, and this will probably give us a bit more info this time. Yes, yes indeed. 66 lines of backtrace. What more could we ask for? Okay, panicked. Yeah, we know it panicked. We know an index was out of bounds. Fine. What else we got going on here? Backtrace, backtrace. This is in the panic. Slicing of indexes. 422. Line 422 of Cruncher. Okay. See what we've got around line 422. Interesting. So 422 is when we match something against triplets. So it's probable that the number is just too large. Okay. Triplets is set. Triplets passed in. Triplets is passed in. Add triplets modifier only if there is some output to be modified. Curious. I feel like we could probably detect this error and either gracefully say this number is too large. I guess we need to prove that this number is too large first of all. Just thinking, it feels like it must be a really massive number. How many characters are we actually talking in this? Fairly ridiculous, isn't it? Just going to put this on its own line and then we'll find out. Wow, so that's 132 nines in a row. 132 nines in a row. And we worked out, just Control Z out of that, so it's 132 nines in a row, and we worked out that if we go back to here, we were setting triplets somewhere here. So 346. So that's 21. The 21, and we know each one of these can adds another 1,000, so another 3 digits, 1,000 million billion. So if there's 21 of these, And I guess this number should break a lot earlier. It should probably actually break on 63 characters rather than the number that we've currently got, 132. Let's just delete a bunch and see if this test still fails. Yep. Does it fail because it panicked? Panic to assert failed. Okay, so that's not. That got up to says Quadragintillion. That's it's not something you hear anyone say every day, is it? So it's not far away from being. Now that's curious. We've got a larger number above. Let's hang on. So let's be reasonable. Maybe not that reasonable. Let's do a search for a number that's just one, or check on a single digit larger. It does return something. As does that. That's up to Quadragintillion. Quadragintillion? That Quadragintillion. Maybe that's the way you meant to say those syllables. Oh, and that's pretty much maxed it out at that point. So we're not far away from this breaking. See if one more does it. One of these is going to cause it to panic. And then I think what we should do is check, see if the size is larger than that number of digits. And 999. So I think even one more would be enough to push this over the edge. One error. Yeah. Okay, so what does this mean? This means this number of characters is too many. In fact, one less than this is the absolute maximum we can take. So down at the bottom of this editor, we can see column 128. That's a very fortunate number, isn't it? So we can say it can take a size of up to 127 characters. Beyond that, we should just return error. So convert tree, that's all very well and good. Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, so this is the exact line of the original ticket that was erroring. So what we want to do, probably see where is convert? Find that function. Yeah, so here, I think before we do anything, we can probably just check the length of string num and just return before we do any of this. Let's do that. Taking my headphones off, just in case there was some background noise there. String num dot, remember, is it len? I think it's len. Is greater than, we said 127 was okay, but 128 was not. Then what are we going for? Let's check how chat is doing. All good. Right. Then essentially we just want to return and probably return. We could say error. I feel like it should just be blank. Let's go with error for now. Nice some of this, keep it out of the way. Okay, let's pay attention to this, see what this error is. Expected this, but found structure string. Is this because I haven't provided an else statement? Oh, that creates all kinds of... Oh no, there it goes, there it goes. There must be a nicer way of doing this in Rust. Otherwise I just end up having code that's just further and further tabbed to the right. I guess it's fine. It's not like we're in what's it, like promise hell in JavaScript. Let's try that. See what we get. Okay, so that failed. So it should have returned something other than one error. That should have just been error. So if string length is larger than or equal to, try that. $14 passed, 1 failed. Much better. Okay, so that's fine. So we can even add a bit of information down at the test as well, and just say test the max length returns, or test anything over 127, well 126 characters returns error. What we're returning? Yeah. Instead of I don't know, we know what it is. It is error. Test anything over 126. Test anything over 126 characters returns error. And if you want to extend this limit, then more definitions should be added to tree or something tree. I do wonder if we could probably do something that takes away the need for that hard-coded 126. Sorry, that hard-coded 127. This is convert and then triplets, isn't it? Anything over 100 error, and if you want to extend this limit, then more definition should be added to triplets within convert. And what does one thing at a time? Let's just run a local test so that we can see, as in local test, I mean actually test server, so we can see how this now gets handled in the browser. Hopefully it doesn't load up the news page. Guess we should probably change it so that the news page is not the error page. Not right this second though. It says error. That's true. It does say error. Could we better handle that? So let's commit what we've got so far. Let's create a new branch. Git branch. Bug fixes. let's go with 2019 09 07 stream. Might be the worst branch name I've ever actually done, because it's telling us when we're doing this but not what it's actually for. Hey, it's a short-lived branch, right? It's going to be finished today. Whatever state it's in, we're gonna merge it. Git branch, fine. Then let's switch to that. Rates, and then let's just check what we're gonna. Oh yeah, we tabbed all that out, didn't we? So git commit. Oh no, it's upper directory. Git commit upper directory. Added bugfix to catch very large numbers being converted to. In fact, I would say they're very large. They're out of bounds, aren't they? Out of bounds numbers being converted to text form. E.g. No, we don't. That's fine. That's reasonable. Spelling is good. Spelling is good. Okay, let's push that, and then it'll say, "Oh no, you can't push that because I don't know what branch." Yeah. Git push set upstream. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. That's pushed. We're good. And then I was saying it would be neat if that wasn't a hard-coded 126. I'd feel a lot better if, oh sorry, 127. I would feel a lot better if we could take the number of triplets I guess it's 40. We said it was 42, right? I think it was 42. Get rid of error. I don't think we need this anymore. A couple of things. There's a couple of different commits perhaps. Git commit minus m removed error string from triplets vector as we handle this earlier in the function. This error type earlier in the function. Good stuff. And I think this could be, and I guess we'll need to move our if statement, but this could be triplets dot len. So let's take all of this, ditch that line for one. And this down to here. Yep. I think really all of this needs tabbing in. I really need to get some kind of auto syntaxy thing running. Definitely think that's the technical term. Yeah, we should really have this automatically formatting the code. Another time, not right this second. So that's converting, that's doing that. We copied that, so it's no longer in the if statement. Now we're using triplets.length. Let's rerun our tests. I'd be interested to see if those are still good. Okay, they failed. Why did they fail? Left came back with error. Right came back with that. So we have reduced this down by 1. So what if I change this to be larger than and not larger than equal? Oh, actually, you know what? We have to times it by 3. That's what I should be doing. Because each one of these represents 1,000, i.e. 3 additional digits. Probably why we called them triplets. Tests are passing. Great. Okay, that's pretty cool. Got rid of a... Well, I guess we got rid of one constant and exchanged it for the 3. But I think the 3 is probably slightly more intuitive than the random 126, and it won't need changing if you change the number in here. So now as we add to triplets, yeah, that feels a bit more robust. Test anything over 126 characters. Test anything over triplets vector size times 3 returns error, and if you want to extend this limit, then more definition should be added to triplets within convert. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Git commit. You know what? Actually, before we go committing, let's run a local test. Let's just kick the tires on it. This should still say error, and we shouldn't get a huge number of weird backtrace problems. Sorry, just faffing with the chat. Right. Cool. Okay, no JavaScript errors. It says error. So we can commit that now. I think we can commit that. Git commit -m. Replaced 126 constant with a check on the triplets vector size. That's what we did. It doesn't really say why. Probably should have said Craig thinks it's better this way. Right. That's that. It does say error, doesn't it? I feel like we probably don't want it to say error. Probably try and catch that. So if I find where we're running convert, is here. I feel like we could probably put an if statement in, but if we UX to text convert, open brackets, open, close, so we can probably here say numeric version of number, or spoken, it's like kind of like spoken version, spoken version of number, and then we need to set that. That's what we're replacing. Let's grab a copy of this spoken version of number, and that should probably be a string. Gonna be okay with that being a string? I think it should be. Great. Okay, let's see if that throws any errors. No. Okay, so far so good. Then so we've given it a default value of this. Then we can check if it says error, and just, I guess, blank it. Although I feel like, yeah, we can check if it's error, and then I think it's slightly more intuitive coding is needed here. So if spoken version equals error, then we just want to say that spoken version actually now equals lug to string. Otherwise, that's going to error because this is not a mod. So let's say we can now change this variable. That's what the mod does. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Expected pattern found keyword. Maybe it's not mod. Maybe I thought it was mute. Not mod. Let's mute. So that says this variable is mutable. You're allowed to change it. That error should go away, and of course we need our else back. And this really should look something like this. So spoken. This is the title. I think we need a new variable. Yeah, we do. Let mutable title equal, which is also going to be a string. Let mutable title equal to string. And then we want to set that in both of these cases. So here it's set, here it's set. What did we break? That's what we broke. Of course, we're going to want to concat these together. Maybe the easiest way to do that. Wow, I've momentarily forgotten how to concat things. That's terrible. Where have I used that? I'm bound to have used that in like a filter function. I feel like it's a filter. No, not filter. Iteration. Something to do with iterating. Yeah, I think it's that. Might be another version. Jump back to our erroring line. Where was it? Here it is. So turn this into a vector. Oh, I still upset it. Mismatch types. Of course. So that should be to string, or to owned would also do it, but to string is just fine. Okay, now it's probably going to moan about things not actually needing to be mutable, so that doesn't need to be mutable. Fine. What's this worrying about? Value assigned to title is never read, so don't bother. Alright, fair point. I'll just set it up with a type and away we go. Just catching up, I think. Variable does not need to be mutable. Oh, because we only set it the once. Fair point. Cool. Okay, let's see. Let's check all the unit tests first of all. Pretty sure they'll pass. We haven't actually changed any of the functions. Yeah, they're all good. And then let's do a little local deploy. And refresh this, and hopefully this awful bit here will be gone. Cool. That looks a little bit better. If I ditch just 1 9, 2, not going to be many. There we go. Isn't that glorious and very readable? Cool. Well, it's better, right? Git status. No, that's not what I want. I want to do a git diff. What did we change? What did we change? So really, we added a lot of lines. Before I commit this, do we need this to be this many lines? Low conversion of number is us calling the conversion. Fine. And then we set title, because we then need title down here. And we've got an if statement because we want to check what this actually returns. I wonder if this could be a match. Are we using a match in here? I can't remember the syntax off the top of my head. So what? Let's look at this side by side, because what we could do, and this will probably error because I'm it'll error to begin with because I'm just reusing stuff. But so instead of that 2, 3, 4, 5, instead if we said we want to do a match, and we want to match this variable. Actually, we don't even need. Do we need the variable? We might not even need the variable. I wonder. Let's do it the slow way first of all, or the way that I think will definitely work. So if we match this variable, if it errors, then we want to call this, and if it doesn't error, then we want to call this. First of all, does that work? Save that. Does it complain? It's probably going to complain because I haven't put a semicolon on the end of there. And I think, oh, not what I was expecting to happen. I was just going to note it out. Do that quickly. Okay, so title, that needs to be an uppercase S. Match this variable. Cannot find value. We don't set it. Okay, so let's keep that. Expected structure, but found a reference. Fair enough. What if I borrowed it? No, not that either. Expected. Well, I thought that would work. Expected standard string, found type, static string. Fairly sure this is not how you meant to use a match. If I put two owned, I'm pretty sure that's going to error. Yeah. What if I match this then? I feel like this is the difference between a amateur Rust programmer and someone that's been using this quite some time. I really want to crack this, but if it feels like we could do this in far fewer lines of code, have it damn sight more elegant. Expected structure, that we found a reference. So I know for a fact that this is a reference. Can I do like a string new or something? That syntactically correct? Alright, let's have a look at the old Google. So Rust match string. Huh. Forgot that was even on. Don't know if that made it through to the stream or not. Yeah, so that will probably error, probably because of the same thing. Yeah, that's the exact same error we've got. As slice is deprecated, you should now use the trait standard convert as reference instead. So they're saying, oh, that's quite neat. Don't do this. Don't abuse the match syntax, Craig. Let's do this properly. Okie dokie. Let's now see if this works. If it does, we've gone from 7 lines of code, 6 lines of code, down to 4, and I think we can probably get rid of this one as well, and probably have this just more readable than it currently is. Refresh this. Okay, so that still works, and that still works. Good. So now, is that borderline messy for me to take this and put it inside the match? I think it is actually. I'm not, just for the sake of one line of code, I think it's going to be more readable to do that. Okay, is there anything else we can do? So spoken version of number, which is a string, is set to conversion of the slug in the URL. We then set the title for later use by checking spoken version of number to see if it's an error, and if it is, then we just include the string, or just include the number. Otherwise, we're including the bunch of stuff here from the title as well. Okay, simple enough. Simple enough. Spoken version of number. Just number.